Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Coffee Break, and welcome back to the Coffee Cast. I am going to be bringing you game number 2 between LiquidHero, who is going to be spawning as the blue Protoss on the left-hand side of MLG Metalopolis, and LiquidSheth, the red Zerg, spawning in the right-hand position, once again on MLG Metalopolis. Sheth, the Manor Bear, you saw that little smiley face. I'm just going to show that to you guys again. Look at that. Look at that. How cute is that? Sheth, you are an amazing guy. I actually got a chance to meet this guy in real life. He was the coolest, second coolest, second nicest guy ever, second only to that of Day 9, who is just amazing. So, in the first game, we saw LiquidSheth go for a 7 pool on MLG Tal'Darim Altar, and scouted the wrong way first, was not able to get to LiquidHero's base fast enough. Hero was able to wall off and get a cannon up in time, and from then on, Hero went to a 1-gate Stargate play and was just able to deny Sheth's third base while taking his own, and eventually took an economic lead, and really was able to overpower Sheth in the end with a superior army composition. And for the matter, I never want to say the word economics again, because I just got done with a microeconomics class, and it was absolutely awful. Oh, it was terrible. We are seeing this Forge fast expand once again out of LiquidHero, and I think he might have left a space open right there. It's always kind of hard to tell. May not have gotten that quite close enough, though. However, I'm not going to doubt LiquidHero's judgment, because, let's face it, it's LiquidHero. Overlords both spreading out a little bit. He knows that obviously LiquidHero cannot spawn right in here because this is MLG, and MLG does not allow for close spawns by ground. You can spawn close by air still, which would be this base right here for Sheth. You can still spawn close by air, but the close by ground just brings in too many rush options. It just doesn't work. There is the 12 pool finishing up for LiquidSheth. Now, I don't think he'll try to be too aggressive with this once again. I think he'll be going for an early metabolic boost, might pull his drones off of gas after that. And yes, indeed he does. Gets that early metabolic boost. And what that allows you to do is just get that early map control that you kind of want. And with that map control, you really just kind of have control of the flow and ebb of the game. You know when your opponent is moving out to attack. You know, more importantly, when your opponent is not moving out to attack. So, especially for Zerg, then you know that you can drone up, or whether you need to make some military units for that upcoming battle. We do have the hatchery now going down for LiquidSheth. I would actually venture to say that the metabolic boost build, where you go for that earlier spawning pool and get the metabolic boost, is actually probably the most popular Zerg opening. I know Idra does like to do hatch first pretty much every game, but that metabolic boost build, once again, so good, because you just get that early map control and just you understand what's going on. We do have 4 Zerglings now scouting around, make sure there aren't any forward pylons sitting around, because if you can pick those off in the early game, that can supply block the Protoss player or just kind of really annoy him, I guess, if nothing else. The expansion is now completed for LiquidHero. He did do that Forge Nexus cannon, I believe. And we do have the double gas here, so it doesn't look like he's going to be doing any sort of crazy timing attack. I do believe he's had these 2 gases for a while. Probably going to be teching up. Now, I do want you guys to pay attention to the building placement of LiquidHero, because especially for Protoss and Terran players, not so much for Zerg, but for Protoss and Terran players especially, it is extremely important how your buildings are placed, especially versus a Zerg player, because it stops Zerglings from being able to do a run-by. It's a lot harder for Zerglings now to come over here and just start attacking out of range of this cannon. They can't attack into the mineral line because this cannon is right here. Now, a lot of times you'll actually see a cannon placed over here rather than back here, because then it stops them from getting the simulators as well. And there you see it in action. Both of these cannons being able to range onto that mineral patch, very helpful for LiquidHero. We do have a quick +1 coming out for LiquidHero. This +1 attack allows Zealous to kill Zerglings in 2 hits rather than 3, which is extraordinarily important if you plan on doing any sort of gateway play. And I know if anybody out there has been tuning in to the Coffee Cast previously, I know I might sound like a repeating record with that. I say that a lot. I repeat a lot of facts a lot, but that's because I do know that I have a couple of younger or less experienced players, or even one or two non-players in the chat, and I'm trying just to let them know kind of what's going on with the game, how the game works. So if you ever hear me say really, really basic things, that is why. I just thought I'd explain. We do have a very quick third base for LiquidSheth, and that is going to allow him to get an early economic lead in this matchup against LiquidHero, not wanting to fall behind once again after that last game. These Zerglings with Metabolic Boost, there are a lot of them on the field. We do have a forward pylon here that's probably going to be taken out. But once again, a lot of Zerglings on the field. There are 25 Zerglings on the field at this point, which actually means that, as you can see here, LiquidHero has LiquidHero, every time I try to say a stat, LiquidSheth just tries to defy me by, making a bunch of drones or units right at that point. So, LiquidSheth is now actually ahead in the harvester count, 36 to 36 now. Everybody is just out to troll Day. We do have 4 gateways now on the field for LiquidHero, as well as a Twilight Council, which he will use to get some sort of tech. It's kind of hard to say in PvZ. You can either do that Templar tech. We see actually a Dark Shrine here coming out of the LiquidHero. You can do some sort of Blink Play. Blink Play is really popular. Now, there are a lot of Zerglings, so there are 2 pages. That's 24 Zerglings per page, so there's about a page and a half right now. And these Zerglings are just going to be able to swarm in here, be able to take a few cannon shots. However, there are 4 Zealots back to defend, and Hero is going to be just fine in that engagement. This Dark Shrine play is a little bit risky, as those Dark Shrines are very expensive. Now, these Zealots are outside the base a little bit. They could actually get surrounded by these Zerglings. But once again, that Dark Shrine tech, quite pricey. It is 150 and 250 gas, and the gas is really the determining factor. The Dark Templar themselves are extremely pricey, as well as they are 125 minerals, 125 gas, and that is not cheap. Now, we do have a little bit of engagement down here in the third base of LiquidSheth. LiquidHero was able to warp in a couple of Zealots and get them behind the mineral line in these really good placements. You can see right here on these 2, right here, between the mineral patches, makes it that the Zealots cannot be surrounded by the Zerglings. Now, we are seeing 8 more Zealots pushed into the base. LiquidHero trying to get that good position, but it's not able to, as the Zerglings do manage to get this round, and with that Queen there, these are going to be able to clean up these Zealots. Yes, they will. All 8 Zealots do fall a little bit, about half the health taken off that hatchery, but nothing too big, and now 2 Spine Crawlers are dropped. We do have this pylon over here. 4 Dark Templars are being morphed in, and are now moving into the third base of LiquidSheth. He does have the Overseer here to defend, however, so he will probably be just fine, especially if these 2 Spine Crawlers do finish. Now, these 4 Dark Templar are going to get a few kills there. Probably going to want to pull back, though, as once again, as soon as these 2 Spine Crawlers do finish, they will be completely worthless. We do have +2 attack on the way for LiquidHero, as well as a Spire for LiquidSheth right here in the main base. Or do we have any Spore Crawlers? We do have another Spine Crawler. It looks like LiquidSheth is going for more of a dynamic detection play with these Overseers rather than the Spore Crawlers. And here's a great follow-up. If your Dark Templar are not going to work, do not let them die. Do not suicide them. Pull them back and morph them into Archons, because Archons are super, super powerful versus Zerg, especially because they do an extra amount of damage versus biological units. Every single Zerg structure and unit is biological. Now, there is a surround all these Archons. Archons are the meat killers of Zerglings. Zerglings do not stand a chance against Archons, especially against 4 of them. The Archons had a fairly good positioning as well, backed up against the tractor, but 2 Archons do go down. They will pick up this Overseer, and now 4 more Zealots are going to move into the base. 34 Zerglings on the way, as well as Zerg Flyer Attacks level 1. 34 Zerglings, and a lot of Zerglings, they will be able to get the surround on this army. And it looks like these units being a little bit indecisive about what they're going to attack. They really needed to get together. This Archon is going to go down. These Archons lose the shield, only 10 health. Now, it looks like LiquidSheth is going to be able to repel this attack. LiquidHero not really being able to do too much damage, but it was able to secure his 3rd expansion while doing all this damage down here. But if you're looking at the unit's loss tab, actually both players relatively easy. Even if anything, LiquidHero is ahead in that tab. And we do have more Dark Templar in this base now, and it looks like a lot of drones are going to go down. Chef really needs to get these mules out so he can counter harass, and it looks like this third base might go down. There was the transfusion on the hatchery, which restores health to the hatchery. It restores 125 health to the hatchery, but the hatchery does go down. The third base has gone down for LiquidSheth, and in the meantime, the third base is just now getting up for LiquidHero, but there is a huge supply gap, 92 to 59 supply in favor of LiquidSheth. So LiquidSheth losing that third base, a little bit behind in that unit's lost time. And it looks like we have an engagement going on somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where. Right here in the middle of the map, we had a couple of Zealots engaging Zerglings. Now the Mutants are out, they are revealed. The Zerglings are running around everywhere, taking both lanes. LiquidSheth has huge map control on this game. And it looks like he is going to be able to scout this pylon, finally be able to take that out. It has been so pesky for him. And these Mulas could really get into a position behind the mineral line here and do a lot of damage, as there are no cannons in either mineral. And there's only cannons in the natural expansion, but there are a lot of stalkers here that are going to be able to clean up these Mulas, or at least force them away. Is Blink on the way? Blink is indeed on the way. So LiquidHero is going to hold off just fine against those Mulas for the moment, but we do have a lot of Zerglings streaming up. They're going to be streaming up into the third, circumventing this wall over here on the right side, on the top side, and going straight into the mineral line. There are some units here to defend, but I don't know if it's going to be enough as well, because Zerglings are very, very good against Stalkers and Sentries. It looks like they are going to get this round and be able to take those out, and in the end, the Zerglings are going to be forced out, but it does put LiquidHero on edge just a little bit. There are a lot of Stalkers here. There are 7 Stalkers. Blink is about 3/4 the way finished. Ground weapons level 3 just finishing as well. Where are the Mulas to harass? It looks like LiquidSheth not really wanting to do the Mulas. It looks like we do have the third base being retaken, as well as 2 macro hatches. Oh, no, third and fourth base being taken, and 1 macro hatch being put down as well, because he knows, LiquidSheth knows, that Hero is kind of on a back foot right now. Hero is happy being on 3 base, but he's had a few failed attacks. The Dark Templar didn't quite work out like he may have wanted them to. And so now LiquidHero just kind of has to sit back and react a little bit. He is getting a Templar Archive up, so he will be able to get those High Templar for the Archon, as opposed to the very mineral heavy Dark Templar. Mila is trying to pick up the pylon over here, but not quite able to get it. And another pylon going down, just as a precautionary statement. So we are having Zergling Muta out of LiquidSheth. This is kind of an old strategy, an oldie but a goodie, as some used to say. These Mutalists are tailing this Dark Templar. He will not get very far as long as an Overseer is around. He might actually get a couple of drone kills, as I do not see an Overseer anywhere around right now. And it looks like he is actually going to be going for the Queen. Now, one thing you can also do with Dark Templar is target Larva, as they do one-shot Larva. Larva only have 25 health. This Dark Templar doing 60 damage. I believe that's 45 base plus 5 per attack level upgrade. We do have a slight move out from LiquidHero right now. These Stalkers do have blinks, so they will be able to retreat if they do get cornered. Couple of sentries following up. Now we do have 15 roaches on the way, as well as 8 infestors. So there's our transition for LiquidSheth. That is exactly what he needed to do, as his strategy was just not going to work against the current competition of LiquidHero. A lot of Zerglings out over here trying to get this round, but these not quite enough Zerglings there. A lot of infestors here. They do have fungal growth ready, and I would expect to see that going down fairly shortly, but no, instead pulling them all the way down. It looks like a little bit of a misstep, and now LiquidSheth is supplied like there goes 1 fungal growth on these units, and these units are going to be cleaned up, but not before the hatchery is taken out, and the retreat is forced by LiquidSheth. Now, once again, the supply count 144 to 112, definitely favoring LiquidSheth in this engagement. We do have Charge and Storm on the way, which will be nice. Especially, oh, and it looks like Zerglings getting caught a little bit off guard against this Stalker army. Infestors and Roaches moving up. I don't know if there's a Greater Spire on the field yet, and there is not. There is not even Hive Tech on the field. So it looks like LiquidSheth might be thinking about going in to Roach Infested Broodlord, which is an extremely powerful composition by the Zerg, but he is not going there quite yet. We do have the new 4th being taken at the gold base, and a 5th as well. So LiquidSheth just taking his half of the map, and he's actually starting to look to be in a pretty good position here. LiquidHero still behind in the supply count, just has not been able to get the engagement he needs to catch up. Could use to morph in a few High Templar to feed back these infestors who are just sitting in the middle of the map. The current composition for both players, I'd say, is relatively even, as they kind of have counters for each other. It's rather hard to say, really. A lot of roaches coming out of the field now. It looks like we are going to be seeing an engagement right here. A Storm does go down on a lot of these units, and there goes 1 feedback, but I don't know if it's going to be enough, as there was a very nice fungal growth right on top of all these units. Now, the roaches are getting a very nice surface area, being able to take down this bottom half of the units before going after the top half. And it looks like there is some Archon being morphed in here, but it's not going to be enough for LiquidHero. That is going to get stranded and taken out immediately. LiquidHero falling even further behind in that battle. 15 more roaches on the way, 189 to 107 supply. LiquidHero trying to engage this little army, now blinking back. It looks like he is not going to be able to take this out, but neither player really has the units here to take out either player. LiquidSheth now deciding to push in and try to take out a few units while he has the opportunity. He might lose these roaches, but he just has the production capabilities that LiquidHero does not, and it looks like he's going to sack all these roaches. More roaches coming in to reinforce here, and look at all these units coming up to reinforce. That is a lot, and LiquidSheth just being able to out-macro LiquidHero right now. 192, 194 to 111 supply. There are a few Dark Templars here, and there is no detective, so these Dark Templars are going to be quite pesky to the roaches, and it's going to force LiquidSheth to fall back until he can get an Overseer in place. But I don't know if LiquidHero is just going to have enough in this game, as the supply counts once again so heavily in favor of our Zerg player. Units lost tab shows both players completely even, and Overseer just now finishing here. A few roaches going down to those Dark Templar, but not quite enough. LiquidSheth happy as can be right now, happy as a clam. A second Overseer being morphed in, just in case the first one does get picked off. A lot of roaches being rallied up into this army now, and it looks like he's going to go for yet another push. No hive tech yet, but is staying up on those armor injections, which is very important when you have these 5 bases. It looks like we're going to be seeing yet another engagement here, and it looks like they're going to catch transferring probes that are going over to the 4th base of LiquidHero. All those probes do go down. That was a very nasty loss for LiquidHero, and now Sheth is going to push in. Very, very nice engagement angle for LiquidHero, but I don't know if it's going to be enough, as there are just so many roaches. A Fungal Road does go down to stop those Stalkers from being able to blink around. We do have Burrow on the way now to circumvent any force field and just be all around pesky. 7-score Dust Ball. No more Stalkers for LiquidHero. And now LiquidSheth moving up into the 3rd base of LiquidHero. Going to be able to take down these cannons with these cannons are going to be completely worthless in this game. It looks like LiquidHero is going to try to come up behind LiquidSheth, but there are units rallying up behind it. It looks like Sheth is going to be able to get a surround on these units, but instead the Stalkers do blink back into the safety of the mineral line of his natural base. LiquidSheth still maxed out 200, LiquidHero down to 98 supply. A Fungal Road does go down on those units a couple of times, stopping those from blinking back, and now LiquidSheth is right on top of all those Stalkers, and that is going to be a lot of damage here. There are more Dark Templar in the roach count. I do not know what happened to those Overseers. It looks like they have died at some point. Now, here comes one coming up, and these Dark Templar are going to be picked off if they do not turn around and run. 7-score is morphed in somewhere again. I'm not exactly sure where. Now, these roaches going for the forge, but that is not going to do too much except stop any cannon production, as all of the upgrades that Hero wanted, I believe, have already been gotten. He is at 2-3. That is a lot of upgrades compared to Sheth. Oh, 2-2. So very even in the upgrade count even. Sheth keeping par with LiquidHero, which really says a lot about LiquidSheth, because Sheth is Hero is a very good Protoss player. Now we do have a beautiful Fungal Road going down all these Stalkers here, causing a lot not to be able to blink back, and a few extra Stalkers do go down in that engagement. One single infested Terran going down. That is not going to be able to do any damage. There's only one infestor left on the field right now. Now LiquidSheth moving back up to the 3rd base. A lot of these roaches are hurt in the yellow or orange. And now he's going to be able to do a lot of damage. And once again, LiquidSheth still maxed out 199 to 109 supply in favor of LiquidSheth. LiquidHero is not able to make the comeback because he does not have the macro that LiquidSheth does. Sheth is now on 4 mining bases, has the potential to take a 5th mining base right there as well. And now he has done the damage he wanted to, cripple a little bit more production over in LiquidHero's 3rd base. And it looks like he's going to be going over to the less defended 4th base of LiquidHero, which doesn't really have too much going on right now. No, instead, deciding to go down as LiquidHero looking to do a little bit of a counterattack. Now, trying to catch his army off guard, we are having a little bit of positioning wars here. Neither player exactly sure what they want to do in this engagement. This could be a very important engagement. And it looks like LiquidSheth is going to try to engage it. A beautiful storm goes down right on top of those clustered roaches, and a lot of roaches taking a ton of damage. Unfortunately, those soldiers do not stack damage, and now it looks like Sheth has turned around and is going to be engaging this army. It's going to be fairly close, but I do believe the Stalkers have the numbers, as well as a storm. Beautiful storm once again by LiquidHero, able to put it down a lot of damage on the roaches. That infection does get picked off, and the roaches are now on the back foot, running back. I do believe I heard Dark Templar somewhere. I do not see them. Here is the Dark Templar. 6 kills on that Dark Templar. Moving down to this base, but there is nothing there. He might want to go up to the 5th base there of LiquidSheth. 187 to 123 supply. Hero making a slight comeback, only 60 supply down rather than 90. So that is a nice thing for him. He does try to control this. However, the Mules do come in and pick up all the probes here. Cannons are going to be able to take out those Mules in the end, though. I do think those are the same units as earlier. Indeed, they were. 43 roaches on the field, as well as 5 infestors. And this is just an intense matchup between these two players. Both players showing their caliber. Hero showing his resistance, Sheth showing his prowess in this matchup, showing what can happen if you just let a Zerg macro up. Now, this isn't quite a high Stalker count from LiquidHero, and that is not something you want to have to engage directly as a Zerg player. Sheth a little bit low on gas as per usual. It looks like Hero out of position on the other side of the map, blinking up into the main of LiquidSheth. There's not actually that much tech here to destroy though, and not much production either. It looks like there's going to be a base race as LiquidSheth is going up the lower causeway as LiquidHero goes up the upper causeway. LiquidHero pushing into now down to the natural after taking out this. Going to be taking out this layer. LiquidSheth, however, being able to take out the natural in just a matter of moments, pushing up. There are going to be 3 orbits completely on power now, and that's not something you want to do. The position you want to be in as LiquidHero. This layer is going to be falling shortly, but I do not know if LiquidHero has the production power against Sheth. Now, he did only pull half his army back, and that's not what you need versus this entire army of Sheth. Sheth had so many units here, and he really needed to be able to, Hero needed to keep his entire army together if he wanted any Sheth to combat this. Now, we do see all these Stalkers have now cleaned up in the main, and now moving down to the natural expansion. Meanwhile, over in the main base of LiquidHero, he has lost 3 gateways, could lose his Dark Templar tech as well, and has lost his natural expansion as well. The capabilities of LiquidHero are being completely crippled. In the meantime, we are seeing a lot of Zealots over here. The Infestation Pit is now fallen. Both players are losing a lot of tech in this engagement. The Cybernetics will once again just fall, as well as the Templar Archive will as well fall fairly shortly here. The Stalker now pushing down. These roaches do have burrows, so they'll be able to burrow on the ground. There's no detection here right now. The Stalkers for LiquidHero trying to push up into the gold base for LiquidSheth, which is a fully operational mining base as of now, not fully saturated, but still a very important base for LiquidSheth. And LiquidSheth now pulling back 198 to 98 supply. Definitely in favor of LiquidSheth in this engagement. And now LiquidHero about to be pintered. There are roaches and infestors up on the bottom ramp, and there are roaches coming in from the side ramp, the left side ramp, and it looks like these Stalkers are going to be completely pintered and going to be completely taken out. There's now 190 to 73 supply. That is not what the Hero wanted to see. Both players doing a lot of damage to one another, but in the end, LiquidSheth just has the production capabilities that LiquidHero does not. LiquidHero lost once again so many gateways in that engagement. He does have a few more remade over here. A lot of cannons being made as he did have a very high mineral count. The roaches moving into the third base of LiquidHero are going to be able to take out everything over here. These probes will have nowhere to run. And that is going to, if he decides to take out these 2 pylons, there's going to be 3 more gateways that are going to be completely unpowered. And you see down here, a few more units do get separated. That's what LiquidSheth wants to keep doing. It's just separating this Protoss army bit by bit, even though he could probably engage this army directly. It's better to err on the side of caution. Now it looks like Hero getting a little bit of a break, being able to get a little bit of the army, but there are once again too many roaches there to be able to engage. Now it looks like there are so many roaches. There are currently 53 roaches on the field as well as 5 infestors. Being able to unpower these next 3 gateways, there are only 3 gateways left that are powered up for LiquidHero. And LiquidSheth has 5 hatcheries, I believe, on the field right now, so that is definitely in favor of LiquidSheth. I don't know if there's really anything Hero can do in this instance. I believe this is just about GG for LiquidHero, as all Sheth needs to do is just 4 units straight into this base of LiquidHero, as that is all there is left. I cannot even imagine what LiquidHero could do to come back in this game, even with all of his power and strategy. There are a lot of roaches here, a few Zealots being mortared in and coming down into the gold base of LiquidSheth. However, they're going to be cleaned up instantly by all these roaches. I do not believe any damage was done. And LiquidHero getting a little bit desperate, just trying to do whatever damage he can, whenever he can. Now, the Twilight Council is still up, so LiquidHero was able to remake any tech if he so desired, but it looks like he's going to be going on to a 6th gate. And yes, he is indeed remaking that Templar Archive. There are, once again, a lot of roaches and infestors down here. Roach and infestor being the composition of choice for LiquidSheth, as well as a lot of Zerglings to go ahead and go in first, probably just try to deal a little bit of damage, take some of the cannon fire while the roaches push in for the kill. Obviously, also, Zerglings are very, very good against Stalkers. They are the direct counter to Stalkers. There are 2 High Templar here ready to storm and feedback as soon as the Zerg army tries to push in. LiquidHero just not in a good position. It is 1900 and 1300 in the resource collection, as well as 500, about 600 to 220 in the gas collection. 1 more pylon being picked off by LiquidSheth. He is going to be able to have complete map control. He owns the entire bottom half of the map, and it could really just position units all over just to be able to see anything on the map that he wanted. 1 Zealot moving down just to see what's going on. I'll probably take this watchtower here. I know it looks like Sheth doesn't quite want to push directly into the, well, I guess what's now the main base of LiquidHero. And I can't really give a good reason why. Now it looks like he's turning back. Just wanted to make sure that he kept that map control right there. Now it looks like the final few buildings in the original main base for LiquidHero have finally been cleaned up, including that Twilight Council that was sitting right there on the ridge. And LiquidSheth, I don't really think the LiquidHero is making a big comeback, but he is giving Hero time to make a comeback a possibility, I will say. And check this out, LiquidSheth just managing barely to save this evolution here with just a little bit left. These buildings do bleed out if they are off creep, so we came over here with an overlord to start dropping creep. It looks like we are about to see the engagement that we are waiting to see. I'm going to take a drink here so I can cast this properly. And here come the roaches, and one storm does go down to force the roaches off to the side. And the roaches deciding, once again, not quite to go in quite yet. I don't know what is keeping LiquidSheth from just pushing in this case. Looks like he's looking to sacrifice a little bit of supply. And now he is going to be going in. Here comes the finally gets one beautiful feedback going down on an infestation that had full energy. A decent storm, but not the best storm. Some force was going down to stop the roaches from beginning to complete surface area that they need. And a beautiful fog going down on all these sentries and stalkers, as well as a couple of Templar. Now, once again, LiquidSheth almost maxed out still. LiquidHero down to 83 supply, a lot of force with energy, a lot of roaches dying, but more being rallied in, I am sure. And there are 39 roaches on the way. All these cannons have now been destroyed, and LiquidHero does not have the resources to remake those. And it looks like even with that little army, that might just break the back of LiquidHero. LiquidSheth already back up to 200 supply. So many roaches can be created at one time. 44 roaches currently on field, and making even more. We do have Neural Parasite on the way. Just finishing up now, and it looks like Hero should not be aggressive, but he might be. No, instead falling back once again. So anyway, just this army already remaxed out, and LiquidHero is going to be in for a nasty surprise if he decides to try to push out. Now sees the danger, and it's starting to pull all the way back to his main base, taking out a changeling there, but that obviously is not going to help him at all. And a full maxed out army of roaches moving in once again. A few infested here with Neural Parasite, going to be able to do some damage if they could, but no, they get feedback first. All these roaches, so many roaches pushing in. A few meat shields in the way of changelings moving in now. So many roaches being able to just completely overpower LiquidHero. The hero just doesn't have the firepower to take all these out, and Sheth can just push up the ramp if he so desires. No amount of force fields can hold off these roaches, as there are just too many. There are plenty of overseers to spot the high ground as well, and LiquidSheth now has full access to the low ground down here. It looks like this game is just about over, folks, as there are not enough stalkers here to be able to take out all of these roaches. Saturday Night Score is going to once again fall. These 3 gateways now completely unpowered once again, so LiquidHero back down to 5 gateways. 2 Templar Archives. That looks like a bit of a mistake by LiquidHero. There's a resources he could not afford to spend. Now it looks like LiquidHero is going to be able to clean up a few of the units back here. We do see a meat shield once again of these changelings, stopping some of these stalkers from being able to engage in that combat. LiquidSheth back up to 190 supply even after losing all those roaches. 16 more roaches on the way, now pushing up the ramp, but it looks like another beautiful feedback down the cliff. So LiquidHero, all he can do right now is try to out-micro this army and hope that Sheth runs out of resources, which he is not going to anytime soon. Now LiquidSheth has pushed up into the last remaining base of LiquidHero, 199 to 42 supply, and there is nothing left for LiquidHero. All these stalkers are now down in the orange, yellow, and red, and it looks like LiquidSheth is going to have free reign over this base. I would expect to see the GG at any moment here. Now, once again, so many roaches just able to overpower the forces from LiquidHero, pushing up, focus firing the last of the stalkers, and there's the GG from LiquidHero in game number 2 between Sheth and Hero. What a beautiful game by LiquidSheth, just able to outpower his opponent and LiquidHero. And once again, that is no small feat, as LiquidHero is one of the most powerful Protosses in the world, I would say right now. But LiquidSheth, the Manor Bear, showing that he is not always nice when he wants to be mean and come down to it. He can just absolutely crush his opponents in a straight up macro game.